What is Wirral Ark Dinghies? Obviously Wirral Ark after the charity name, and the dinghies, well, speaks for itself really. We renovate sailing dinghies. The idea is not to make money necessarily, but to provide occupation for the people who are involved in it. There are a number of furniture restoration social enterprises around the country. There's one in Liverpool, for example. So ours is furniture restoration. It's just that it ain't furniture, it's boats. I mean, here we are, we're in Birkenhead on the Wirral. We're surrounded on water by three sides. There's a lot of boats around, so boats seem to be, fairly obvious choice. There's a boat called the Mirror Dinghy, which is, there's a small dinghy. Most were amateur built. Most were built in the kind of 70s, 80s. So a lot of them are getting to an age where they are either going to go on the scrap heap or they're going to be recycled. So there's a lot of raw material out there for us to get in and work on, and a lot of interested buyers in buying them. The idea came, basically somebody gave me a boat. Years ago I built a mirror dinghy when my kids were small. There was a guy on the beach and his boat was like half wrecked, and I was talking to him and he said, "Oh, I'm going to chuck it." So, and I thought, "Oh, it's salvageable, it's not bad." And he said, "Well, if you want it, have it." So he gave me the boat and I hosed it down, and it needed some work. And I did the work in my garage. And while I was doing it, I was thinking to myself, this is really enjoyable. It didn't cost me anything to buy in the first place. So if it all goes horribly wrong, it's not the end of the world. But it's really enjoyable to take this boat that was, a bit battered and needed a repair, and to kind of see it come back to life. Because I think a boat is quite a romantic and beautiful thing. Maybe I'm alone in that, but I do honestly believe that. And as I was doing the work, I thought, if I can get this kind of enjoyment from doing this, then others will. And obviously with working in homelessness, I thought, well, people who come to us could enjoy this as well. Essentially, to give people the opportunity to have meaningful occupation during the day, to stop the sort of endless days that sometimes homeless people have, particularly if they're in a hostel where a lot of things are done, the food preparation and all the rest of it. Time can hang heavy.
They brought me here to have a look first and show me the stuff what they do, and I classed it as like being at work really. It was only 10 till 2, but I used to do 4 days a week. But it was good to give me a sense that I was doing something really, rather than sitting in the hostel all day.
It was a case of trying to give meaningful occupation for people, particularly in a hostel kind of situation, to give them a positive routine during the day. People who are homeless often lose self-confidence. They have low self-esteem. And again, working in a project, belonging to a team, seeing the end result of what they're doing, combats that. It's a case of giving people the opportunity to take pride in what they're doing, the fact that they are creating something of beauty in my eyes, and it lets them truly believe, quite rightly, that they have that capacity to create. It's about the routine, it's about combating that time hanging heavy, and it's about improving self-esteem. The third thing that it's about is giving skills back to people. Painting and decorating, woodworking skills and the like are useful skills to have in life generally.
I knew a few of the skills through jobs what I'd worked on in the past, but Barry taught me a lot, who's here, whether it's just painting and that. I thought I knew a bit about painting, but there's different ways of doing it, different power tools, all kinds of stuff really.
What is successful? I was going to say very successful, but perhaps that's not for me to say. Successful in a number of ways. First of all, financially, it's 75% self-funding. That is to say, 75% of the costs of running it are covered by boat sales, which is good for a social enterprise. Most don't achieve that kind of level. But perhaps more importantly is the benefit to our clients. We see change in people. We see people turning up early. We see them wanting to come in extra days. We see a real engagement in this very positive activity, and a real interest in whether it's selling, is it on the market, how much it went for, and a real interest in the progress that's actually being made. They're directing their energies to something which reflects or really shows the value of their input. As far as the criteria for our clients, the whole of this charity, the Ark, is about homelessness. And we remain centred on homelessness. So the only criteria really is that somebody either is suffering homelessness at the moment, maybe in a hostel, or has suffered homelessness in the recent past. So that's the only criteria. I have to say, Barry's, the manager, is very good. He has a almost impossible task of trying to produce a professional job with an amateur group, but he does an excellent job, and he maintains a very healthy atmosphere in the place. Part of the process is that the clients are dealing with dangerous tools, dealing with heavy objects that we're lifting. So one of the things that we teach is around risk assessments and health and safety. It's about having rules for how you lift things. It's about having rules for using sharp instruments, whether it's a chisel or a plane or something. And these are useful life lessons, as well as how to paint, or the best, or a good way to paint. We operate just from 10 till 2, Monday to Friday. And that's enough if people have been homeless for a while, out of that full-time education or training situation. Then if we're going to ask them to re-engage in that kind of life, then to start with, a 4-hour session, albeit with a half an hour break at lunchtime, is probably enough that we can ask. The benefit for the clients is 3 things, to put it very plainly. One is about that positive routine, getting up in the morning, having a reason to get up at that time, to be there, about learning, about being on time, and about doing a good job and all the rest of it. The second thing is about learning skills, because people do learn skills, painting and varnishing, preparation, woodworking. And the third thing is about self-confidence, about self-esteem, that as people can see that they can create change, that in a boat, that their self-confidence improves.
I feel it got me used to getting back into work. I'd had a 2-year break. I went into rehab and then the hostels and what have you. And I just feel a bit more confident now, because I've been somewhere like this, ready to go work. And I've learned some new skills, and it's good to put on a CV.
They see people come in and they see value attached to the work they've done. If they've done most of the work on a boat that they saw come in as a damaged boat, covered in mud or whatever, and they see it being then somebody paying 400 quid, 500 quid for the boat, then, and that change they've brought about, then, that's quite a buzz out of that.